Hello grade 9 special mathematics class students. We're now through discussing the different forms of a straight line or the linear equation. These are the point slope form, two point form, slope intercept form, and general form. So we now proceed to another form of a straight line or a linear equation. This is called the normal form. So as you can see in the figure, okay, we have the line L. We have here the coordinate system, and from the coordinate system, we have line N here. We have the line N that passes through the origin, and this P, small letter P, is what we call the length of the directed segment OP sub 1. This is OP sub 1 with the coordinates x sub 1, y sub 1. And we have also here W. W is the angle between the positive x-axis and OP sub 1. So ito yun, OP. Acute angle, acute angle. Yeah, W is an angle, right? And then we have also here P1 sub A. P sub 1A, I should say. It is perpendicular to the x-axis. And we have OAP sub 1 is a right triangle. So from this figure, we can derive a new equation which is x cosine W plus y sine W minus P is equal to 0, which is now what we call the normal form of the equation of a straight line. So ito yung equation ng normal form. Okay, try to memorize. Also general form, ax plus by plus equals 0. So normal form, ito naman, x cosine W plus y sine W minus P equals 0. So in trying to solve for the value of cosine W, okay, scientific calculator is needed. Okay, let us have here problem. Find the equation of the line in normal form with the given for A, B, C. A, B, and C. So for letter A, P is equal to 4 and W is 0 degree. So what is the equation of that line in normal form? So for letter A, this is the solution. X cosine W. First, we're going to write the equation of the line in normal form. X cosine W plus y sine W minus P is equal to 0. Okay. So right. So from here we can now substitute what is the measure of W? The angle is 0 degree. Plus y times sine 0 degree minus 4 is equal to 0. By the way, P is always positive. Kaya lang dito sa equation minus siya. But its sign is always positive. Kaya lang sa equation minus. Sa equation minus, pero sa talagang sign niya is positive. P equals 4, positive 4, positive 7, positive 8. So let's continue using your calculator. What is cosine 0 degree? Okay, just press cos 0, that's equal to 1. And using your calculator, what is sine 0? That's equal to 0. Minus 4 equals 0. X times 1 is x. Y times 0 is 0. So wala na yan. Eliminate. So therefore the equation is x minus 4 is equal to 0. So the equation of the line in normal form where P is equal to 4, W or the angle W is equal to 0 degree is x minus 4 equals 0. Or we can also write this equation as x equals 4. Okay, same, pareho lang. Alright, that's for letter A. Let's proceed to letter B. So let's proceed to letter B. We have, let's first write the normal form of the equation of a line, since P and W are given. So P is 7, W is 45. So from the formula, we're going to substitute W by 45 degrees minus P is 7. Yan. Now using your calculator, what is cosine? What's cosine 45? Okay, cosine 45 is, okay, it's equivalent to square root of 2 over 2. How about sine 45? Sine 45 degrees is also equal to square root of 2 over 2 minus 7 equals 0. Yan. To simplify the equation, we're going to multiply the equation by 2. Okay, so this will become square root of 2x plus square root of 2y minus 14 is equal to 0. Okay, so we can now accept this as the answer. Square root of 2x plus square root of 2y minus 14 is equal to 0. But how about if we're going to divide all terms by square root of 2? So this equation can be accepted, but if we're going to divide all terms by square root of 2, the equation will be x plus y minus 14 over square root of 2 is equal to 0. Yan. Right? Divide all terms by square root of 2, so x plus y minus 14 over square root of 2. And if we're going to rationalize this, we can have the equation x plus y minus, okay, times square root of 2 over 2, 14 square root of 2 over 2 minus 7 square root of 2 equals 0. So we can also have this answer. The simplified answer for square root of 2x plus square root of 2y minus 14 equals 0. X plus y minus 7 square root of 2 equals 0. Yan. That's the answer for letter B. Is it clear? Plus, this is 0, okay? Equals 0. Yan. So let's proceed to letter C, where P equals 8, W is 2 pi over 3. So let's solve for C. P equals 8, W is 2 pi over 3. So using let's write the equation of the line in normal form. X cosine W plus y sine W minus P equals 0. Then substitute. P is 8. Minus 8. Okay. So first, let us determine the equivalent measure of 2 pi over 3 in degrees. How? I'll just substitute pi by 180 times 2 divided by 3. So 2 times 180 is 360. 360 divided by 3 is equal to what? 120 degrees. Yan. So 2 pi over 3 is equal to 120. So palitan natin. So instead, you write 2 pi over 3, just write 120 degrees. Okay, let's continue. What's the value of cosine 120? Using your calculator, press cosine 120. That's equal to, okay, negative 1/2. How about sine 120? Press sine, then 120 in your calculator. It's equivalent to, yes, square root of 3 over 2 minus 8 is equal to 0. So from here, let's multiply the equation by what? But really we're going to multiply negative 2. Okay, let's multiply the equation by negative 2. So it will become x minus square root of 3y plus 16 is equal to 0. So this is now the equation of the line in normal form. Given p equals 8, w is equal to 2 pi over 3x minus square root of 3y plus 16 equals 0. Okay, bakit negative 2? Kasi negative 1 up yung x. So in order for it to become positive x, so negative 2 na lang. Minsanan na lang. Diba? So if you multiply this by 2, then you multiply the next step, you multiply the equation again by negative 1. So minsanan na lang negative 2. Instead of positive 2, then negative 1, negative 2 na lang. Okay? Let's go to the next. That is how to get the equation or to find the equation of the line in normal form given P and W. Let's continue. We have here another definition. X cosine W plus Y sine W minus P equals 0 is called the normal form of the equation of a straight line. P is greater than 0 and W is between 0 degree and 360 degrees. So it says here, P is always positive, greater than 0. So thus the line L can be completely determined if the length P is always positive and the direction W of the perpendicular segment from 0 to L are specified. So that's what we did in the previous examples. We learned how to find the equation of the line in normal form given P and W. P is always positive, W is measure of angle between 0 and or from 0 and 3 to 360 degrees. Okay, there's another equation here. Ax over positive negative square root of a squared plus b squared plus by all over positive negative a squared plus b squared plus c all over positive negative a squared plus b squared equals 0. What do we call this equation? This is called the normal form of the equation ax plus by plus c equals 0. So the sign before the radical is chosen opposite that of the c. If c equals 0, then the sign of the radical is the same as that of b. So if we're trying to find the equation of a line, or we're trying to reduce an equation to its normal form, okay, we're going to use this formula. Okay, example, if we're asked to reduce an equation 5x plus 12y minus 26 equals 0 to normal form, then this is what we're going to use. Okay, because it's called the normal form of the equation of ax plus by plus c equals 0. Now, what is the sign of c? What is the sign of the denominator here? It says positive, negative. It depends on the sign of c. So if c is positive, the denominator is negative. If c is negative, the denominator is positive. Okay, but how about if c is 0? Then the sign of the radical is the same as that of b. We're going to choose b. Okay, that's the rule. So let us now learn how to reduce equation to normal form. Okay, we have here reduce the following equations to its normal form and identify cosine w, sine w, and p. For a, 3x plus 4y minus 6 equals 0. For b, 5x minus 12y plus 13 equals 0. So a and b are both equations written in general form. So we're going to reduce these two equations into its normal form. How? By using the equation ax over positive negative square root of a squared plus b squared plus by all over positive negative square root of a squared plus b squared plus c all over positive negative square root of a squared plus b squared equals 0. Okay, so for letter A, 3x plus 4y minus 6 equals 0. So first step, let us try to identify A. A is 3, B is 4, and C is negative 6. So if C is negative 6, then therefore the equation of the sign of the denominator is positive. Okay, So right here, yes, positive. So what is the value of a squared plus b squared? Let us first solve. What is a? By the way, this is capital A kasi pag small a, x-intercept. Small b, y-intercept. So capital A tayo kasi general form. So a squared is 3 squared plus 4 squared. That is 9 plus 16. Square root of 25 is 5. So therefore the equation is, okay, we can just write this as ax plus by plus equals 0 all over square root of a squared plus b squared. So 3x plus by plus minus 6 minus plus 4y pala over 5 is equal to 0. Okay, so in short, going to divide all terms by 5. And this is now the normal form of the equation 3x plus 4y minus 6 equals 0. 3 pips x plus 4 pips y minus 6 over 5. Now let us identify cosine w. Cosine w is the partner of x, so 3 pips. How about the sine w? Partner ng y, 4 pips. And p is what? Okay, p is always positive, so 6 pips. Yun. So that is how we reduce an equation in general form to normal form. First, solve for a square root of a squared plus b squared, and whatever the sign of c, that will be the sign of the denominator. Then substitute the original, to this equation, x plus by plus c all over square root of a squared plus b squared. And then identify cosine, sine, and p. Okay? Now let's solve for letter b. 5x minus 12y plus 13 equals 0. So for letter b, a is 5, b is negative 12, and c is positive 13. Okay? So first, let us solve for a squared plus b squared. Since c is positive, dapat negative ito. Negative. Okay? Pag if c is positive, negative yung denominator. So 5 squared plus 12 squared is 25 plus 144. Negative square root of 169. Negative 13. So we have, so the normal form is ax plus by plus c over square root of a squared plus b squared equals 0. So we have negative 5 over 13x plus 12y over 13. Okay. Minus plus pala plus c over negative 13 equals 0. So originally minus to, no? Minus negative. So let's simplify. Negative 5 over 13x plus 12y over 13 minus, ano yung c? 13 over 13 minus 1. This is now the equation. This is now the equation of the line 5x minus 12y plus 13 equals 0 in its equivalent normal form. Negative 5 13x plus 12 over 13y minus 1. Okay. Yan ang equation. So let us identify cosine w. What is cosine w? Hindi na nga siya. Cosine w is a partner of x. Yun, negative 5 over 13. Sine w is partner of y, 12 over 13. And p is always positive. It's equal to 1. So that is how we reduce equation to its equivalent normal form. Okay, let's proceed to the next. Let's continue. Let's proceed to number 3. Find the distance between the two lines. 3x plus 4y equals 8 and 3x plus 4y equals 12. So first, let us reduce these two equations to its normal form. Okay, this is for line 1 and this is for line 2. Let's transpose 8 and 12 to the left side of the equation. Yan. So that if C is negative, then its denominator is K positive. So what are we going to divide? Okay, what are we going to divide? Let us solve for square root of a squared plus b squared. So it's 3 squared plus 4 squared. That means 9 plus 16, 25. The answer is 5. So we're going to divide it by 5, 5, 5. So this is now the normal form of the two equations. Okay. So for 3x plus 4y equals 8, this is the normal form. 3x over 5 plus 4y over 5 minus 8 over 5 equals 0. For 3x plus 4y equals 12, this is the normal form. 3x over 5 plus 4y over 5 minus 12 over 5. Positive yung sa baba. Why? Kasi negative yung c. So saan natin nakuha yung equation na yan? From this. ax plus by plus c all over square root of positive negative square root of a squared plus b squared was 0. So how can we solve the distance between these 2 points? It's easy. Let us determine the p. Let's just determine that p sub 1 for this equation. 3x plus 4y minus 8 equals 0. P is 8 over 5. And how about the value of p for line 2? That is equal to 12 over 5. So to solve the distance between these two lines, we'll just subtract. Yes. So for the distance between these two lines, we'll just subtract p sub 2 and p sub 1. So 12 over 5 minus 8 over 5 is equal to 4 fifths. So ito na yung answer. The distance between the two lines is 4 over 5, or that's equivalent to 0.8. So magkalapit lang sila, wala pang 1 unit. Almost 1 unit yung kanilang distance. 0.8, 4 over 5. Okay? So that is how we solve the distance between two lines. Actually, they are parallel lines, right? Because their slopes are equal. Okay, so to find the distance between two parallel lines, we just reduce these two. We just reduce the two equations or the two lines to normal form. Then identify the value of p. Then subtract p sub 2 minus p sub 1. That will be the distance between the two given lines. And let's now proceed to the last example number 4. For the last number, we have find the equation of the line through the point 714 and with the given value of p, which is 7. So let us solve. So this can be solved using the normal form. X cosine w plus y sine w minus p equals 0. Okay, can you see it? Right. So from here, let us substitute x by 7, y by 14, and since p 7, so we have 7 cosine w minus 14 sine w minus 7 equals 0. And if we're going to divide all terms by 7, this equation becomes cosine w plus 2 sine w minus 1 equals 0. Right? Now, okay, let us solve for cosine w in terms of sine. So just transpose negative 1, so 1 minus 2 sine w. So we have formed equation 1. Okay, so from this equation 1, okay, let us solve for the values of sine and cosine. And from that, we can be able to determine its equation. So the next step is, from equation 1, we're going to substitute this to the trigonometric identity. Sine squared w plus cosine squared w equals 1. This is a trigonometric identity, okay, which is true for all. So from here, we're going to substitute the value of cosine, which is 1 minus 2 sine w squared plus 1. Then let's simplify. Square the binomial. Minus 1 minus sine squared w plus 1 minus 4 sine w plus 4 sine square w plus 1. So from here, let us add 4 sine squared w and sine squared w. That is 5 sine squared w minus 4 sine w. Then, which is, we subtract this, 1 minus 1 equals 0. So as you can see, this equation can be solved using quadratic equations by factoring. Okay, 5 sine squared w minus 4 sine w equals 0. So let us name this as equation 2. Okay, so equation 2 is a quadratic equation. Let us solve by factoring. So by factoring, we have sine w times the quantity 5 sine w minus 4 is equal to 0. So by zero product property, sine w equals 0. And the other one is 5 sine w minus 4 equals 0. So from here, we can solve for sine w as 4 pips. So as you can see, there are two values of sine w, 0 and 4 pips. Okay. Sine w equals 0 and sine w is equal to 4 pips. Now, if sine w is 0, what is the value of cosine w? Okay, cosine w from equation 1 is 1 minus 2 sine w. So just substitute 1 minus 2 times sine 0. This. So dito naman, ganun din. Cosine w is equal to 1 minus 2 times sine w. 1 minus 2 times 4 pips. Yes, 0 pala yan, sorry. Yeah, 0. 2 times 0. Sine w is 0, so 1 minus 2 times 0 is what? 1. And if sine w is 4 pips, what is 1 minus 8 pips? That is equal to negative 3 pips. Yan. So, ibig sabihin, there are two lines. There are two lines for this problem. Okay, line 1 and line 2. So, since meron tayong given for sine w, cosine w for each of the two lines, then for the last step, we can now be able to find the equation, which is we are looking for, which is what we're looking for, I should say. So this is now the equation of the two lines. Sine w is 0, cosine w is 1, so we can now substitute it to the normal form of the equation of a line. X cosine w plus y sine w minus p equals 0. So we have x times 1 plus y times 0 minus, okay, p7. So x times 1 is x, minus 7 is equal to 0. Kasi y times 0 is 0 na. So the equation of line 1 is x minus 7 equals 0. How about the equation of line 2? X cosine W plus Y sine W minus P equals 0. Just substitute. X times 4 pip plus Y times negative 3 pips minus 7 equals 0. So the answer is... wait. Sorry for that. Baliktad. X cosine W is negative 3 pips. Y is 4 pips. So be careful. So the answer is negative 3x pips plus 4y pips minus 7 is equal to 0. Or, if you multiply this by 5, we have 3x plus 4y minus 35 equals 0. Okay. So these are now the two equations of the line passing through 714 and with P is equal to 7. So that ends our discussion on normal form. Okay, our next lesson will be the distance between a point and a line. Goodbye, see you next time. God bless.